Okay, good afternoon. We're just going to wait a minute to get started while everybody gets logged in. We have a lot of people registered today, so we're going to wait another 30 seconds or so and let everybody get into the queue. We're going to have a great turnout today, which is really exciting. Once it levels off, we'll get started. Okay. Well, good afternoon, everybody. You are tuning in to the RiverWoods Exeter 101, which is our monthly webinar that we host to give you hopefully a good foundation of information about RiverWoods Exeter. My name is Lisa Clark, and I am joined today by Chrissy Cady, who's one of our senior living sales counselors. Not joining us today, but some of you may end up working with is Dan Witham. So it's our role to help you get educated on RiverWoods Exeter and decide if this might be someplace that you might want to call home someday. So in the next 45 minutes or so, Chrissy and I will be sharing with you quite a bit of information about Riverwoods, and we will allow time at the end for questions. We do encourage you to hold your questions until we get towards the end of the presentation, because chances are we will be answering a lot of what may be swirling around in your heads right now about Riverwoods. When it does come time to have questions, you can submit them through the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. We love to have suggestions from folks attending our webinars about how we can improve this experience, as well as other ideas that you might have for future presentations. So please feel free to share. So we're going to start with a little bit about the history of RiverWoods Exeter. These two women here are our founders. It was originally a dream of these two ladies that was crafted around the kitchen tables of Mariana Hatch, who lived in Durham, and Rosemary Coffin, who lived in Exeter. They began planning for Riverwoods in the early 1980s with the goal of building a community where they could meet new friends, get involved in causes they cared about, and stop worrying about their future healthcare needs. So they created RiverWoods Exeter, which opened in 1994. And today, more than 35 years after their first meeting, we then opened RiverWoods Durham in November of 2019. So Riverwoods began as a dream of a small group of New Hampshire residents who wanted to create a better way to improve the experience of aging for others. And that dream really took off. So today, more than 30 years later, we have a dynamic family of three not-for-profit communities, all with the same mission, which is to improve the experience of aging. And all three of our communities share the same values and are advised by a volunteer board that's focused on operations. So today we'll be talking primarily, or actually solely, about Riverwoods Exeter. Riverwoods Manchester and Riverwoods Durham do host similar webinars. So if you're curious about those communities, we'd encourage you to sign up for their Riverwoods 101 webinars. A little bit about how our three communities are governed. The RiverWoods Group is our supportive organization that provides professional fee-based services such as human resources, marketing, IT, finance, and quality. And the group also funds any at-risk projects within our communities, as well as any new ventures. But it's important to know that each community is financially independent of one another and has the opportunity to fund the RiverWoods Group based on available assets. The RiverWoods Group is advised by a volunteer board of directors who are focused on mission and growth. We have two different boards here. We have a CCRC board, which really is the governing body for the existing communities. And that is comprised of both volunteer board members as well as some residents from each of the three communities. They consult with our system CEO, whose name is Justine Vogel. And Justine reports into our system board, and the system is really a higher level board focused more on mission, future growth, and innovation. So here at RiverWoods Exeter, we have three different neighborhoods that we actually call campuses, but we really consider each of these three together to be one community. The Woods was the original campus that we built in 1994. We have 201 apartments there. We opened the Ridge 10 years later in 2004, and the Ridge has 81 apartments and 11 cottages. And then the Boulders opened 6 years after the Ridge in 2010 and has 75 apartments and 24 cottages. Now, each campus has its all of the necessary amenities that you would need, including dining, fitness, art studios, libraries, and community gathering spaces. And you are able to use any amenity at any campus, regardless of where you live. So again, it is one larger community with three campuses, all located within our 200 acres of land here in Exeter. It's important to note when you're looking at communities, whether there is an accreditation associated with that community. We are very pleased to share that RiverWoods Exeter is accredited by an organization called CARF, which stands for the Commission for the Accreditation of Rehabilitation Facilities. And CARF is a nonprofit accreditor of health and human services throughout the world. And only 10% of continuing care retirement communities are actually accredited. We were one of the earliest to receive accreditation back in 1999. And every 5 years, we need to reapply for accreditation. And in 2024, last fall, we were reaccredited for the coming 5 additional years. If you'd like to learn more about CARF, we've put their website here. It's carf.org. So that if you're looking at other communities, you can find out if they are also accredited. I'd like to talk a little bit about life care. So you'll find these terms are maybe used interchangeably, continuing care communities or life care communities. They're pretty much one and the same thing, although from community to community, you will find some of the terms of the agreement and how the rates are structured might be a little bit different. But life care is considered to be a smart financial solution. What you are actually purchasing when you come to live at RiverWoods or a continuing care community is long-term care insurance. And the way the financial model works is you pay an entry fee when you move into the community, of which 90% is refunded back to your estate upon your passing or if you were to move out. So in that respect, it can serve as a form of estate preservation. In addition, you will pay monthly fees that will cover access to many of our amenities as well as your health care. So those monthly fees remain consistent regardless of the level of care that you may be receiving. So whether you're living in independent living or you're living in assisted living or memory support, you continue to pay the same monthly fee, which is great because it's hard to know what will happen to our health in future years and when we might need additional levels of support. And this predictability of monthly fees is really the hallmark of what we call a Type A CCRC contract, which offers you unlimited access to assisted living and nursing care for the rest of your life with no change in fee, other than a nominal fee for additional meals if you're living in assisted living or nursing care. While you're living at RiverWoods Exeter, we take care of your healthcare resources, whether you're living independently or at a higher level of care. So we're resourced to support you not just today or when you move in, but also what you may need in the future. For residents who are living in independent living, we have wellness clinics staffed by nurse practitioners, and they are really there to serve our independent residents Monday through Friday on either a drop-in basis or by appointment. It's important to note that you still would have a primary care physician when you're living at RiverWoods Exeter, who would be kind of your primary point for your health care. But these wellness clinics can serve as a great backup to that, and often save you a trip to your primary care physician. If you need a higher level of support, we have assisted living apartments for both singles and couples. And then we also provide memory support and nursing care in private suites. Additionally, we can provide respite care. So if you just need some support on a short-term basis, whether you've had a bad bout of the flu or you're recovering from surgery or a hospital stay, we can offer you a temporary stay in our healthcare center. Our healthcare center is overseen by our medical director, whose name is Dr. Tim Keenan. Dr. Keenan is affiliated with Core Physicians, which is the group that operates out of Exeter Hospital. And most of the services that you would receive here within healthcare would be covered by your monthly service fees. Some things we will bill out to Medicare if it's an applicable service. So we do require that you have Medicare A and B as well as a supplemental policy when you move into RiverWoods Exeter. In addition to all these on-site services, we have 3 terrific hospitals in the immediate area. Exeter Hospital is just 3 miles away. That hospital is affiliated with Beth Israel Lahey Clinic. We also have Portsmouth Hospital, which is 25 minutes away, known for their cardiac care. And then we also have Wentworth Douglas Hospital up in Dover, New Hampshire, which is part of the Mass General network. So a lot of resources, both on campus and off campus, to support you. Now we're going through a bit of an evolution right now in healthcare at RiverWoods Exeter. The original premise for our communities was that all 3 campuses were built with a healthcare lodge. And those lodges contain housing for assisted living, long-term care, and memory support. We also offer short-term rehab at our Ridge campus. So if you have a hospital stay, joint replacement, or something like that, you're able to come into that short-term rehab before you go back to your independent apartment. But we've had some challenges with this in the several decades since we originally built the Woods campus, one of which is staffing inefficiencies, and that we have 3 small healthcare centers which still require 24/7 staffing, which has become a real challenge in the current labor market for healthcare workers. Secondly, we have pretty limited amenities in these 3 healthcare centers. So they often need to, if they want to get their hair done or they need to go to a fitness class, or needing to go over to the independent side for those things. And lastly, our buildings are becoming pretty dated, which is limiting our ability to add some updated technology that's being used with frequency today in healthcare environments. So we've made a decision to modify this model from 3 small healthcare lodges to 1 central healthcare center that will provide all these same levels of support, but have a broader base of residences that we can serve in 1 location. So the healthcare center will have assisted living apartments, it'll provide long-term care, short-term rehab, and we will now be able to offer distinct memory support residences because we'll have the scale of residents to be able to have those services. The benefits of this, well, first of all, it's going to be a beautiful design, call it a biophilic design, which really is a design being used in healthcare environments today, which expands access to the environment, which is very good for healing. So more access to big windows, rooftop decks, access to nature. We'll also be able to incorporate state-of-the-art technology within this campus, this lodge. And thirdly, but critically, is it allows us to solve for some of the staffing challenges that we've had with three very small healthcare lodges. In that we can have all of our staff, healthcare staff, on one site and be able to shift them around as needed, depending upon the needs of the residents. So that is kind of what we're thinking. These are some renderings of the new healthcare lodge. Where we're at now with this is we're going through the town approvals, the zoning board and the planning board for the town of Exeter. So we've had a few delays from that along the way, but we anticipate that those will be resolved, and that we will move forward with constructing this healthcare lodge. The location will be on the corner of White Oak Drive and Route 111, so it'll be just down the street from our Ridge campus. And we will be offering 24-hour transportation for our residents from the campuses to get to the centralized healthcare building. I should note, I'm going to go back a bit, that once this is completed and we move our residents into the new healthcare lodge, which we're probably looking at sometime in 2028, we will then be repurposing the space in the former healthcare lodges at all three campuses into more independent living apartments. So our plan is to add about 70 more apartments. Probably won't see those until sometime in the range of 2030. So I want to talk a little bit about our services and amenities and what's included in your monthly service fee that you pay each month to RiverWoods Exeter. First of all, a portion of your dining, which we'll talk about in a moment, is included in your monthly fees. We have a super flexible dining program. You will have access to our fitness centers and indoor pools at each of our campuses. We offer about 60 classes a week for group fitness classes. You'll have a lot of entertainment and cultural opportunities to access, both on campus and off campus. You'll have access to our courtesy transportation, which can get you to the grocery, to medical appointments, to the bus station, the train station, all those important places that you will still need to get to, even though you may not be able to drive anymore. We also offer biweekly housekeeping as well as weekly flat linen service. Those are both included in your monthly service fee. And we take care of all the maintenance, whether it's something inside your home or outside your home. RiverWoods manages all the maintenance in your home. We will also cover your utilities. So your heating, air conditioning, water, electricity, all of that is included in your monthly service fee. And you will control your own climate. So you can have as warm as you like or as cool as you like. And it will not impact your monthly expense here. Your monthly service fee also includes access to our wellness clinic, which we talked about a little bit earlier. And lastly, we make sure that you feel secure. We have a 24-hour security team here and an emergency response system that's built into all of our apartments and cottages. So all of that is included in your monthly service fees. And let's transition to dining. So the way our dining program works is you will receive a monthly bank of dining points that may be used either in the dining room. You could use it for takeout meals or guest meals. You can use it for catering. And you can also use it in our perishable groceries. We call them marketplaces for RiverWoods grocery items. You have access to dine at any of 5 different restaurants across our 3 campuses. And we work hard to be sensitive to people's dietary preferences. So, more folks are transitioning to plant-based diets or vegetarian diets. And we definitely design our menus with that in mind. We source as much as we can locally from the New Hampshire farmers. We're really lucky to be in a beautiful area for fresh produce as well as meats. and fish, of course. So we source as much as we can within the local seacoast market from the farmers here. This is a picture of our dining room at the Boulders campus. Beautiful space, high ceiling, fireplace. Also, there's a patio out the back there, which we offer outdoor dining in warmer seasons like we have now. And this is a picture of the the bistro at our Ridge campus. The Ridge campus has both a more casual bistro, like you're seeing here, as well as a more formal dining room where people tend to have their evening meal. That's in the latter part of this picture through that doorway. In addition, each of our three campuses has what we call a country store. This is a picture of a country store at the Woods campus. The country stores are great because they often can save you a trip to the grocery store for something that you might run out of, but don't want to get in the car to go retrieve. So whether it's toilet paper or honey or body lotion, you can find most everything that you would need at the country store. I'm going to transition this to Chrissy now, and she can talk to you a little bit more about what there is to do here at RiverWoods, what the lifestyle's like, as well as she'll share with you some of the apartments and pictures of those.
Lisa, thank you everybody for coming and joining us for an hour on a hot sunny day, summer day. Hopefully you're in someplace cool so that you can enjoy some cool temperatures while you're listening to us. But I am going to transition now into some of the fun parts of living at RiverWoods. If you go to the next slide, Lisa, I will be showing you our largest gathering space called Boulders Hall. This is a beautiful space. People love it because there's a stage there, and it can hold up to 200 people theater style. So this is where they have all of the big events. They'll have performances here, large resident parties. We host lectures. We have concerts, community updates. So if there's a big community-wide update, it's usually here at Boulders Hall. We have just updated some of our sound systems and recording systems. So you are now able to actually either watch any kind of a resident update from your home on our RiverWoods TV. And they are also able to record programs so that you can watch them at a later date on our new resident portal where you can get a lot of information on your computer from that. But you can choose from a wide array of events that happen either here at Boulders Hall or the Great Bay Room at the Woods or the Ridge Room at the Ridge. You'll see the events listed on a bi-weekly calendar, and we have space to accommodate any kind of an event at all three campuses. That brings us to talk about our education committee, because they're the ones who actually organize quite a few of those events. And let's see here, my light went off. So our education committee is a very active committee. Their mission is to provide enrichment opportunities for all of our residents here through educational programs, lectures, short courses, and they cater to a wide variety of interests. We use both inside speakers, some of our residents, and outside speakers from the rest of the community. It's a very active all-campus committee that meets. They are resident run, and they meet regularly to discuss different opportunities for the lectures, trips, courses. They also review committee duties, and they work in collaboration with our community life team to either promote the events or even book space on campus. Just to give you an idea of the different events here, in 2023, there are more than 20 in-person programs provided across all three campuses. And the topics included a wide variety of things, including the arts, history, crafts, performances, archaeology, geology, different nature programs, travel. They brought in local services from the town to talk. Also, a lot of literature events and speeches about the environment, issues around aging, and many, many more. We also have a library at each community or each campus, as Lisa was mentioning. All three campuses have a library. This one you're looking at here is our library at our Ridge campus, renovated about 2 years ago. Again, it is staffed by our volunteer residents who are on our library committee, another very active committee, who has a budget and are able to purchase books throughout the year, especially ones that are popular. The other thing you can think about too, as a resident of the town of Exeter, you also have the privileges of the Exeter Town Library, which is a wonderful library and has a lot of programs there as well. So one of the things that's nice about the libraries here is it's all on an electronic card catalog. So if you can't find a book at the Ridge, you can look up on the card catalog and find if they have it at the Ridge or the Boulders or the Woods. And they campus service vehicles will take the book right over to you if you can find it at another library. So moving on from exercising our brain to exercising your body, it's very easy to stay active here at RiverWoods. Our wonderful fitness team has so many different ideas on how to keep you active and always looking for things to make fitness fun. So you have a lot of different choices here, whether you're taking a lap in one of our indoor pools, you're working out with in the fitness center, you're working if you're at a class with one of our trained instructors. We also have a walking group that you can join, a cycling group, various hiking groups that will go out off campus as well as stay on our trails on campus. And we are actually connected by over 4 miles of hiking and snowshoe trails on our campus. So now you're looking at one of our pools. We have 3 pools, one at each campus. This is our Boulders pool, our largest pool. So this is the favorite for people who like to swim laps. But we also have wonderful exercise classes. They just began a new class that they're trying to start out with people to see if there's any interest, called Aqua Zumba, which I'd never heard of before, but that sounds like a fun class. And then our residents have also created their own fun by creating a aqua volleyball game that they play every Wednesday afternoon. So that's become very popular as well. Once you're finished with swimming or inside the one of the fitness classes, you can then go right into one of our hot tubs. And we have a hot tub right near our pools as well. Then if you're interested in just working out for half an hour and getting some cardio, we have a cardio center at each one of our campuses as well. You're looking right here at our Boulders campus cardio room, but they have machines at each campus, all of the same. So you have no excuse to get that cardio in. And then if you like to play certain sporting events, sporting games, we have 2 pickleball courts. You're looking at a couple of very happy pickleball players. Very inclusive group who are always trying to get people to learn how to play pickleball. We actually started with 1 pickleball court, and it became so popular we had to add another one. So it's a fun thing to do on a nice day like today. And then once you're done exercising for the day, don't forget you have some creative aspects of our community as well. You're looking right now at a gentleman who had loved art when he was a kid and growing up as a teenager, but then life got in the way and he got on, working and starting a family. And then when he came back here and we came to RiverWoods, he was so inspired by some of the artists here, he decided to pick up his craft again and start working on his artwork. So now you see him at our Pinkham Art Studio every morning around 9 o'clock, honing in on his craft. And here is the art studio where he works. This is a very popular one for our artists because of the nice natural light that comes in. So you can see a couple of the different spots where people can do their work. And then as well as all the other things you can do there, there's a lot of different programs that our residents actually put together, but there's The one that is really well known is our Nantucket basket weaving. So we have workshops once a week teaching all new residents and existing residents how to weave Nantucket baskets. So that's a very popular event in this art studio as well. And then if that's not enough, we've got our wonderful woodworkers as well. We have two wood shops, one that you're looking at here at the Woods campus and one at our Ridge campus. If you live at our Boulders campus, you have the choice of either one. They are very talented people. Sometimes you'll see in the windows as you walk through our communities some of the woodworking pieces that they work on, anywhere from the signs they create for our trails, canoe paddles, cutting boards, bowls, furniture, you name it. They're very talented. And then music is important here as well. We have a lot of different groups. In particular, we have one three campus wide chorus that performs twice a year and meets on Tuesday afternoons, I believe. We're always looking for male singers. So if you're a male singer out there and you want to come in, we would love to have you on our chorus. But we also have small instrumental groups. You're looking at a little string, almost quartet. We have a recorder group that was started by a resident who wanted to learn how to play the recorder, and now they're playing very intricate pieces. And then we have small singing groups, a small women's barbershop quartet. A lot of these we get the benefit here at RiverWoods of, because any kind of an event that happens, we usually have one of our groups performing for us. So it's wonderful. And then on top of that, if you're an artist in the garden, and I know a lot of you are probably just coming in from this morning working on your gardens. If you're afraid that you're not going to have that ability here, that you're wrong. We have numerous raised garden beds that you can reserve either a whole or a half for growing vegetables and flowers. We have a very active gardening group who actually works in tandem with our landscaping team and often does a lot of the beautiful gardens in our front entrances. Another fun fact is that we are New Hampshire's largest arboretum with over 300 species of trees and bushes. And on top of that, we also keep bees. We have a couple of residents who are beekeepers, as well as some staff members who went to beekeeping school. And we've been so successful with that we are able to sell honey in our country stores from our very own bees. Now we're going to move on to just seeing some of the features of our apartments and cottages, and you'll be seeing some of the pictures going forward. We have Lisa probably already mentioned this, over 40 different floor plans across all three campuses. You're looking right now here at one of the cottages at the Boulders. The one nice feature about our apartments that I always like to point out is that every one of our apartments, whether it's a studio all the way to a large 2-bedroom, has a solarium in the living room, which really opens up the space and brings in a lot of natural light. Just to go over a few things that our apartments have, we have fully equipped kitchens in all apartments and cottages. You can individually control your HVAC. Every apartment and cottage has its own Wi-Fi. As I mentioned, we have solariums in each space. You have storage areas for that are located in each building for apartments. We have 24-hour emergency response and safety systems. We have guest rooms that we provide for people if they'd like to have guests stay in their building and campus with them. And we do have outdoor parking available for all apartments, but we also provide indoor parking or covered parking as an additional cost. Now we're looking at one of our apartments. This one is at the Woods campus. It's a Trillium, which is a large 1-bedroom. And you can see in the background there, the solarium that's bringing on all that beautiful light. You can also see a little bit of the amenities or the selections you can choose from when you're refurbishing your apartment. We have some very nice neutral paint colors to choose from and a luxury vinyl plank in our main area, the living room solarium area. And if you go to the next picture, you're looking at the same apartment with, and this is the view from the kitchen or view of the kitchen. And again, if we do replace cabinets, we're using the white shaker style cabinets, and you would have choice of either a quartz or granite countertop. And we're replacing all of our fixtures with stainless steel appliances. And moving on to our Ridge campus, this is one of our large 2 bedrooms called the Magnolia. And this really shows you the ample living space that you can have in your dining room, living room area with, again, that solarium in the background. And you can see a little bit of the kitchen with that nice open concept. Again, choice of quartz or granite, and it really opens up that space for you. I love this picture. This is a Cypress apartment. It's a 2 bedroom at our Boulders campus. And this really showcases what you can do with your apartment, with the things you have now in your home. So you use all of the, nice, the luxury vinyl plank, and you can choose the quartz and the paint colors, but then you bring in your own furniture and your own colors and your own paintings and really make it your own space. So I love this picture. And then now you're looking at a kitchen in the one of the cottages, one of our spruce cottages. So again, you're seeing the ample space you have. If you like to cook, you have plenty of space to store some of your kitchen gadgets, as well as counter space to work, make a pie, make some cookies in the winter. It's a great space for cooking and baking. Now, if you're looking at RiverWoods Exeter, you're not just looking at our community proper, you're looking at the surrounding location. So we are near downtown Exeter, about 5 minutes away. And we're on 200 acres near the Exeter River here at RiverWoods Exeter. We have easy access to Portsmouth, Manchester, an hour from Portland, an hour from Boston. And then you've got this New Hampshire seacoast to explore while you're here as well. And then not too far again from the mountains and lakes region. So if you're a skier, you're not too far from going skiing. We definitely have a ski club who gets together. It usually goes to Gunstock, and that's a nice area because people can be downhill skiing, cross-country skiing, and snowshoeing all at once. So you can all go together. But I encourage you to explore Seacoast online and just realize how many amenities we have in our surrounding community. And then you probably already know this if you've been doing any kind of investigation of our community. The New Hampshire tax advantages are wonderful. No general sales tax, no personal income tax, no capital gains. We are the top ranked New England state and the 5th lowest tax burden in the country. So if you're planners, you may want to look a little bit more into that as well. And we also put in a little summary of our pricing. Our pricing just changed. The new price sheet came out as of July 1st. So you can look at, our apartment sizes range from a studio, which is about, just over 500, just about 600 square feet, all the way to our cottages, which are over 2,000 square feet. We have a first-person entrance fee ranging from almost 250,000 down all the way up to over $1 million for our cottages. That entrance fee for the first person is the 90% refundable portion. But then if there is a couple, you would add a second person entrance fee of 64,000, and the monthly fees range from 3,200 to just over 9,500 for our cottages for first person. If you're a couple, you would add 2,129 to your monthly fee. And so that just gives you a little range of apartments. You can ask your sales counselor for a full price sheet when you're interested in learning more. So now, if you've gotten a lot of information from the beginning of our program and you're interested in joining our wait list, Lisa's going to walk through the process for you.
Great. Thanks so much, Chrissy. So first to share a little story about this picture. This is a group of residents at our Woods campus where we have a bocce court. And the dress code there is striped socks. So you can see they like to have a good time. They even have a mascot, which is the little pug dog down there. But we have bocce courts at both our Ridge and our Woods campus. And we also have horseshoes at our Woods campus. Chrissy, do we have horseshoes at another campus?
I don't, I'm not sure. I think it's only
Yeah.
at this campus.
I think it's only at that campus. So anyway, so we have great outdoor games and we also have indoor games. We also have billiards tables and ping pong at all three campuses. So never any shortage of ways to have fun here at RiverWoods Exeter. So I'm going to walk you through our wait list process because we do have a wait list. Um, and our estimated wait times right now range anywhere from 4 years for a one-bedroom apartment up to 10 years for our largest apartments and cottages. So the wait times are purely an estimate. It's very hard to predict when people will move out of their apartments, as well as how the people that are currently on the wait list will choose when we call them. So it is very much of an estimate, but it definitely has grown in terms of our wait list has grown, particularly in the last 2 years. So we have extended our estimated wait times because of that. If you were interested in applying to join the wait list, you would complete our application, which we call a confidential data profile. And that would then determine what we are comfortable with you qualifying for financially to ensure you have the assets and the income to support yourself here through end of life. Once you are approved to join the list, you would sign a brief waitlist agreement, and then you would pay what we call a reservation fee. The reservation fee gets you onto the list. It gets you a place in line, and that fee ranges anywhere from $25,000 for a studio apartment up to a $99,000 fee for our largest two-bedroom apartments and cottages. That reservation fee would then be applied or could be applied to your entry fee when you move into the community. And also any interest that you earn on while you're waiting to come here would also be applied towards your entry fee. If you end up moving into Riverwoods, that reservation fee would earn 4% simple interest up to a ceiling of 15,000. We do have a cap on interest earned. If you decide not to move into the community, you'll get everything refunded except for $1,000 cancellation fee, and you would earn 0.25% interest if you choose to leave the wait list and not move into the community. It's a really flexible process. You really tell us when you're ready. If Chrissy or Dan or I were to call you before you were ready, there would be no penalty if you said, oh, gee, it's too soon for me. Don't, I'm not ready to come. So it's a very flexible process. And it's really our job to work with you as the years go by to make sure that we're calling you with the right apartment at the right time. So when you join the Riverwoods wait list, we are really investing in you and being your advocates to make sure that we have something for you when you need it. So that is the waitlist process and the reservation fee that's required to get onto the list. Chrissy and I are going to walk through a few frequently asked questions, and after that, we will open up the queue to other questions. And we're going to start off with the first one, which, Chrissy, I'll take this one. If I have a long-term care insurance policy, can I use this at RiverWoods Exeter? Now, long-term care is part of the services that we are providing you with, so it is somewhat redundant of a long-term care policy that you may already own. However, some people choose to keep their policies when they come to Riverwoods, and if they do, When they, if or when they needed a higher level of care here that would qualify for reimbursement by their long-term care policy, they could then submit a claim and be reimbursed. Many people do let go of their policies when they come here because they're being covered by Riverwoods services through their monthly service fees. But we do recommend that people hang on to their policy for the first year that they are living at Riverwoods to make sure that you're happy here before you let go of it. And we do have someone on staff for our residents who can evaluate their policy and determine what the benefits might be of keeping it versus disposing of it.
Well, I'll take the next one, Lisa. What happens if one partner in a couple needs a higher level of care? So that's the beauty of our contract, where we are a life care community. One person can remain in your independent apartment, and if your spouse needs a higher level of care, they can move into a private one-bedroom assisted living apartment and eventually go into a private nursing room with a private bathroom or memory care. And you're still paying that same monthly fee that you were paying when you're both living in one apartment together. The only increase, I think Lisa already mentioned, would be an additional 2 meals per day. So that would be a nominal amount of about $600 a month additional for somebody in healthcare. But it's you can be in two separate places, but still paying that same monthly fee that you were paying when you were living in independent living.
Okay, next question. What if I'm not ready to move when you call me about an apartment? Do I go to the bottom of the list? So, if you end up getting on our list, you will see language in our waitlist agreement about if you refuse an offer 3 times, you go to the bottom of the list. So, it's important to note that an offer is considered when we call you and you say, yes, I'm ready to go through the process of being offered an apartment, which entails updating your financials, going through a health assessment, and then seeing the apartment. That is considered a formal offer. If you then say no, then you would have 2 more opportunities to refuse before you would go to the bottom of the list. Most people, when we call them, they either know they're ready or they're not ready, and they've been here enough times to know the floor plans and what they would consider for a location. So it's our job as sales counselors to know you well enough to know whether we should even call you about something, whether it's the right location or floor plan or timing. So if Chrissy or I or Dan or I were to call you and say, hey, I have a Hickory apartment at the Ridge, it's on the 2nd floor, it's sunny, and you say, oh, gee, we're not ready, then we just move on to the next person. So that is not considered an offer. So very few people actually get beyond the first offer because they know when they're ready and they know enough about the campus and the apartments to know whether they want to pursue a formal offer. So that's how that works.
Okay.
Chrissy, last one.
Last one. How long do I have to move in once I'm offered an apartment or cottage? So in general, you can expect 60 to 90 days. 60 days for an apartment, 90 days for a cottage, from the time that we offer you the cottage or apartment until it's ready for occupancy. So you would be offered the apartment, you do your personalizations, and then from that time forward, it would take 60 days before you were required to pay your entrance fee and begin paying your monthly service fee. And even if you're not living here, you would be considered residents. So you would have the benefit of our healthcare building as well, even if you were not at the time.
Great. Okay. So we're going to go to the question queue now. And I think we'll start with the first one, which is about the dining point system. How many meals does a dining point system provide per month? So it's roughly equivalent to 1 5-course meal a day. But because most of us don't eat a 5-course meal anymore, we've converted it to a points-based system so that every type of food has a point value. It's equal to about 18 points a day. And to give you an example of a value of a particular food item, soup is worth 2 points. Hamburgers are worth 8 points. I think steak tips are worth 17 points. So it's really designed to give you an adequate meal per day, but some people are stretching that into a protein at lunch and a protein at dinner. We do have alternate plan levels for people who either go away seasonally or they prefer to cook more of their own food. So there's lots of options and flexibility in the dining point plan. Chrissy, do you want to cover the next one
Or,
about age?
yep, average age of residents, and a percentage of male and female ratio. Average age is about 84 here. The average age of people moving in is about 78. And the female to male is about 68 to 32%, 68 female to 32%. It changes a little bit throughout the campuses because our cottages generally have couples in them, so there might be more men at the Boulders campus, for instance. But we can delve a little more into that if you ever took a tour of our community as well.
The next question is about, uh, well, it disappeared now, but the next question was about is a percentage of the monthly service fee deductible? And the answer is yes. In a type A community, the fees you're paying, a portion of them when you're living in independent living, are considered a prepaid medical expense. So depending upon your tax situation, you may be able to deduct that. Every year it may change slightly because it's something that Congress approves. In the last couple of years, it's been around 33% of that monthly service fee that you pay when you're in independent living would qualify as a prepaid medical expense.
All right, the next one, explanation of the range and entry fee for similar units. So if you're looking at a one bedroom at the Woods and then a comparable one at the Ridge and Boulders, the reason for the increase, one, they're a little bit larger square footage wise, but also it had to do with new construction. So they started off at a higher price just because of the construction that was done at the time. And so they go a little bit higher based on that. The Boulders is a loose campus, so has more expensive apartments than the Woods, which is the original campus.
Uh, the We talked about the prices for the independent living apartments on that schedule, and your sales counselor can follow up with you with a more detailed schedule. The assisted living apartments, what are they like? They consist of a living room, one or two bedrooms, and a kitchenette and a bathroom. And the rehab and nursing rooms are more like a private hospital room with a bedroom and a bath. You would provide your own furnishings at any apartment here, whether it's in the healthcare area or, I mean, in nursing care, we have hospital beds, but you can bring in your own, chair and other furniture. You want to take the next one, Chrissy?
The question, is there a medical test for independent living? What if medical condition for one or both partners changes during the wait period? We actually do not have a health assessment that needs to be done to get on our wait list. It would only be done once we offered you an apartment. So if you're concerned in any way, you are more than welcome to have a health assessment with one of our nurse practitioners just to see if there are any concerns. But if at the time you were offered an apartment and there were any concerns at all, you would have conversation with the nurse practitioner about that. And it's a basic, cognitive balance testing that's done, very similar to the ones that are done in your medical offices.
Okay, the next question is, do we have a list of pre-existing conditions which would prevent you from being able to join RiverWoods? No, we do not. So as Chrissy mentioned, you would, before being offered an independent living apartment, you would have a clinical consultation with one of our nurse practitioners to determine whether independent living is the right level of care for you. Okay, Chrissy?
While on the waiting list, could an applicant adjust their desired accommodation? Absolutely. So you may start off, feeling like you'd like a two-bedroom when you first get on our list. So you could deposit on the wait list for a two-bedroom, and then as a few years go by, realize maybe you don't need that much space. You're more interested in getting in sooner and the amenities that we have to offer here. So at that time, you can change to a one bedroom plus den or a one bedroom. You can take some of the sizes off of your list and put some new ones on, and they would be added as of your original deposit date.
Great. Next question. Can I reserve a unit on my own if I can financially support it and add my husband later? Absolutely. We have people join, even though they may be in a couple now, they may join as a single. We actually have some couples who their spouse is not old enough to join our wait list yet, because you need to be 62 to get on the wait list. So some people do join on their own. Some people also join on their own because they may have a partner whose health is declining and they expect they will outlive their partner, and they want to make sure that they have a home for themselves as a single. So we have a lot of different scenarios like that. And again, your sales counselor can work with you to determine what will work for you. So if a partner were to join you on the wait list later on, they would need to go through the same financial qualification to make sure that they would be able to, afford the residence on their own if you were to precede them in passing. Okay, Chrissy, the next one about interest.
Once on, please explain the 4% simple interest on reservation fees. So this 4% interest that you would receive would be 4% times the reservation fee times the number of years you're on the wait list for. So it's very simple interest. It's just you're multiplying those together, and then that interest would be added to your reservation fee and could be used towards your entrance fee when you come in.
Yeah, and just to add to that, we say simple because it's not compounded. So we don't know what interest you will earn until you actually are offered an apartment and move into the community, because the interest you earn is different whether you move into the community or don't move into the community. So that's why it is not determined until the end of the interest-bearing period, what you will actually earn for interest. The next one, once on the waiting list, does a current price list hold? No, it does not. You would pay whatever the current entry fee is for the year in which you are offered a residence here. And then the monthly fees, same thing, whatever the monthly fees are in the year that you move in. And the prices are adjusted annually for both the monthly fee and the entry fee. This past year, our entry fees went up by 6% on average, and our monthly fees went up by 3.75%. And every July 1st is the beginning of our fiscal year, and that's when we adjust our rates.
Let's see, the next question, is there one main waiting list for all of the Exeter campuses, or different waiting lists for each campus type of unit, et cetera? So yes, we put your name actually on each waiting list you want to be on. So if you want to be on 3 different one bedroom lists, we put you on each list. So there's not one main list that we go down. We would put you, I don't know how to explain this better, but we would put you on each apartment list that you would want to be on. And
Yeah.
they are based on categories. So you would deposit on a specific category, but you wouldn't have to be on each of those apartment lists in the category.
Yep. Separate wait lists for every style of apartment we have. So you might be on 5 or 6 or 7 different lists for apartments. Is the entry fee negotiable depending upon percent refund requested? Nope. Nope. We have the same entry fee. We do have some alternate refundable contracts. We have a 50% refundable and a 0%, but you pay the same entry fee on all 3 of them. What changes is there is a discount on the monthly service fee that's based on your age when you move into the community. They don't make sense for most people unless you have no children. and you're, you know, fairly aged in years. So I would say the large majority of people go with our 90% refundable contract.
The question about property tax, that you are not considered being, owning your apartment or cottage, so you would not be paying property tax. Our community, RiverWoods Exeter, pays property tax in Exeter, but you personally would not be paying for, property tax.
Um, Question about will this be recorded? Yes, you will all be receiving a recording of this. So if you want to watch it again or share it with friends or family, you can do that. We have a question about will we have the opportunity to see different 2 bedrooms or 1 bedroom? It really all depends, Marcia, on when you're coming and what we have available to show you. We don't have model apartments here, so everything we show, we need to ask permission from a resident to show their apartment. So we try to give you a good, you know, variety and idea of what the apartments look like. The architecture is a little different at each campus. And really, the goal of the first visit to see Riverwoods is whether you think this is a community that you would love living in someday. So, oftentimes, it's more about the feeling of the community, the aesthetic of the campus, and less about the particular features of the apartments. Uh, So we have a question. Why does the monthly fee increase as the initial fee increases? Do the services change? Well, our monthly fees go up each year because of inflation. We have increases in energy costs, food costs, labor costs, construction costs, healthcare wages. So just, you know, it usually moves with inflation. I think, Chrissy, you answered this. You can be on the list for multiple apartment styles. And last question, if we move into a 1 bedroom, decide we want a 2 bedroom a year later, do we pay a penalty? We really discourage people moving internally. We do have an internal move policy, but we encourage you to wait for the size of apartment that's going to work for you over the long run. But there are costs involved if you do want to move to a different apartment. And we actually only allow people to go to a larger apartment if they are adding an additional resident to that apartment. So if you're a couple, you want to make sure that you are choosing an apartment that's going to work for you over the long run. So I think we've gotten through all the questions, and I want to just make you aware that this Thursday, July 10th, we have another online workshop featuring Ann Romney from the Alzheimer's Association, and she's going to talk about how to recognize the 10 warning signs of Alzheimer's. This should be a terrific event. You can either scan the QR code here or go to our website and register for it. That's this Thursday, July 10th from 1 to 2. And on the similar theme, we have launched a new service called NaviGuide, which is a subscription service for older adults and their caregivers. This woman, Amanda Kelly, who's featured on the right here, works with you or the resident to provide a connection to a wide range of support and services and resources in your home. So it's a brand new service we're offering for folks who are aging in place and may need a little bit more help and support. You can visit our website to find out more about that or scan the QR code here. And that concludes our presentation. I know it was fast and furious, so we appreciate your patience and your attention. And again, we will be sending out a recording of this. Dan and Chrissy and I will be following up with you all. We've each been assigned to those of you who are attending today, so you can expect a follow-up call from us to answer any further questions and then perhaps schedule a visit to see Riverwoods. So thanks again for your time and hope you all have a great day.
I